welcome to Learn Along Russian on Duolingo. My name is Yana, I'm your native Russian speaker. We're gonna do lesson 3 together. Bye mom means пока mama. In the same way we can say пока papa, bye dad, пока сестра, bye sister, пока брат, bye brother, пока дорогой or дорогая, bye darling. So many wonderful use cases for a word пока. The other options we have есть could mean eat or could mean have. Nikolai is a name. It's a full version. Short version is Коля. Dmitry is another full version of the name, and the short is Dmitry. And Yana, gosh, this is my name, Yana, and this is the full name and the short name, Yana. Yana it is. Дело in тело is the wonderful example in Duolingo to train our ear to distinguish between the and t. In Russian language, we as small children, we learn the pairs of consonant letters. It's ringen and dal pair. So this is exact example of ringen and dal pair. The letter D is falling under the ringen spectrum of this philosophy behind Russian language. Since we activate our vocal cords and our throat to actually make the sound D, that's why it's considered ringen. The letter T, on the other hand, is more of like a noise. So there's no activation of vocal cords is happening. It is just simply the constriction of the throat and pushing the noise out. So can you hear d, t, d, t? And using it in the words is a great way to get used to hearing this. Дело, тело, дело, тело. Дело means things or a business, so it's actually singular. But if we want to say, I have stuff to do, in Russian we would say, у меня дела, I have stuff. Technically, that's what it means, literally, I have stuff. У меня дела. Or у меня есть дело, or also sometimes дело can be used in the context of the business. So business in Russian is business. Shocking. Can you tell? But дело, if we say у меня есть свое дело, I have my business essentially, we would also use дело. And тело is body. Physical body. In this case, is дело. Yes, this is a subway means да, это метро. If we agree in that, yes, this is indeed a subway, we're saying да, это метро. If it's not, we can say нет, это не метро. Or we can say, no, this is not a subway, this is a train. Нет, это не метро, это поезд. Or, no, this is not a subway, this is a car. We can say, нет, это не метро, это машина. But in this case, it is the subway, so да, это метро. Main options are Nadezhda, which is a Russian woman name. The full version, the shorter version, often calls Nadya, but actually Nadezhda as a word itself, it's hope. So, yeah, hope. Nadezhda. Famous Russian song. Don't worry about it. Nadezhda. Nadya. До свидания means goodbye. Evgenia. It's a Russian woman name. The shorter version is Zhenya. Funny enough, Evgenia is a woman name, but Evgeny is a male name. But the shorter version would be exactly the same. Zhenya. Zhenya for a man or Zhenya for a woman. Evgeny or Evgenia. And on means he. Of course is a great word to know in Russian language. It means конечно. As you probably noticed, конечно, the way how we pronounce it, it differs from the way how it's written. Technically, it is written as конечно. Nobody says конечно in Russian. We are making it more conversational, more appropriate, making you sound like a true Russian speaker. Конечно is the way to say конечно. Конечно. So we substituting ch with a essentially sh. Конечно. But it's written with a ch. Конечно. Nobody says that. We say конечно. The remaining options are чай, which means tea. У меня, which means like I have. Usually, you will say у меня есть чай. I have tea. Ну means well, and извините means excuse me or sorry. Tea please means чай пожалуйста. Same way we can say кофе пожалуйста, coffee please. Молоко пожалуйста, milk please. Воды пожалуйста, water please. Сок пожалуйста, juice please. plenty of ways to use that. If you're asking for something, чай, пожалуйста, книгу, пожалуйста, book, please, a cat, please, sitting right there. Кота, пожалуйста. Remaining options are как дела, which technically means how are you. Спокойной ночи means good night. Все means everything. And день is a day. Everything is fine means все хорошо. Or everything is good. Everything is fine. Everything is good. Все хорошо. If it's the opposite and everything is not that fine, we can say все не очень хорошо. Everything not that fine. Not that great. Все не очень. Не очень. Or if you're saying everything is really good, we can say все очень хорошо. Все не очень хорошо if it's not that real good. Or if it's that good, you can say все очень хорошо. So you can always, sprinkle some Russian wisdom around. Добрый, kind. День is a day. So actually, добрый and день often used in combination, saying добрый день, which in English would go as good afternoon. Or if you want to say good evening, we'd say добрый вечер. Say good morning, доброе утро. But on its own, standalone, добрый means kind. So if we would say добрый человек, kind person, we use добрый. But in a phrase good afternoon, good morning, добрый вечер, добрый день, or доброе утро. For your information, familiar to us word конечно, which pronounced as a sh instead of ch, but конечно means of course, and пока means goodbye. This is my bread means это мой хлеб. Это мой хлеб, это мой сок, juice, это мой chai, this is my tea, this is my juice, this is my bread. Because it's a male gender that we're talking about, we use мой and not моя or моё. So, мой чай, мой хлеб, мой сок. If we're talking about, say, milk, молоко, we would say это моё молоко. Since молоко is falling under middle gender category, we would use the form of my complementary to the word that we use and that we're referring to. So, молоко, оно моё, so это моё молоко. So, моё молоко, моё вино, my wine. Это моё вино, моё молоко. Or if we want to say моя, let's say, это моя чашка, this is my cup. Это моя чашка. Чашка is a female gender, so моя, the my would change the form to female gender. So instead of мой, it's gonna be моя. Not мой or моё, it's gonna be моя. Моя чашка. Or моя ложка, spoon. Моя ложка. Это моя ложка. Это моя чашка. Female gender, but это мой хлеб. Male gender. Mark is the name, not very common in Russian. Never known a single Mark, personally. Actor is actor. Sophia. Жанна is a Russian name, Жанна. Excuse me, where is the subway? Извините, где метро? Question mark. And the word извините usually used in Russian language in a situation where we're talking to a stranger because we don't know them. So instead of say извини, which would be more casual conversation one-to-one, you would tell to your friend or a family member, oh, извини, где this or that. But since if we're asking someone in the street or somebody we don't know, we would use a polite version of the form извини. We change to извините. Где метро? The other options we have are есть, which is have. До свидания means goodbye. Чай is tea, and как дела is how are you? How are you? Doctor is there. Доктор там. The other options we have добрый, which is kind or good if we use it in a combination with a day, день, morning, утро, or evening, вечер. Добрый день, доброе утро, добрый вечер. But standalone, we would say it means kind. Diana is the name Diana, but Diana in Russian. Пока means goodbye, and Anton means Anton. It's a name. Goodbye, Mark means пока, Mark, or до свидания, Mark. The options here we have is есть, which means have. Как дела means how are you. Добрый is kind or good. Где means where. We'd say, where is Mark? We can say, где Mark? If we're referring to Mark as Mark is kind, we can say, добрый Mark. Or if we just met Mark, we can say, Mark, как дела? Как дела, Mark? Bye, good night means пока, спокойной ночи. And some of you might have a fair question in mind. Say, Anna, why good morning, good afternoon, or good evening we use word добрый, but in a good night we use спокойной ночи instead of доброй ночи? Well, I got an answer to you. Actually, we could say доброй ночи, but it's uncommonly used. And specifically, спокойной ночи means peaceful night or calm night. So since добрый technically means kind, wishing a kind morning, a kind day, a kind evening, and peaceful night. So this is the reason why instead of доброй ночи, often Russian use спокойной ночи. But in English, it sounds exactly the same. It would kind of sound weird if we would say, calm night to you, dear sir. Like, who would say that? Or peaceful night to you. Like, it's just sound weird. But in Russian, that's what we do. Say, доброе утро, спокойной ночи. Just the way it is. So, пока, спокойной ночи. I remember as a kid loving to watch this show for kids called спокойной ночи, малыши, meaning good night, babies. Good night, babies. So, спокойной ночи, малыши. The options we have мой, which means my, to a male gender object, subject. Все means everything. Чай is tea. And у меня is more of like I have. У меня есть чай, for example. Yes, good evening. Да, добрый вечер. Not спокойный вечер, but добрый вечер. Да, добрый вечер. The remaining options are ты, which means you. Она is she. До завтра, till tomorrow. And извините, polite version of excuse me. How are you doing, Victoria? Как дела, Victoria? Victoria, as you probably familiar with the name, actually shorter version in Russian would be Vika. Sometimes people like to be called like that. Should make sure first what their preference are before we jumping into calling people left and right Vika. Some Russian wisdom. The remaining options are у меня as у меня, I have. День is day, где is where, and park is park. Good morning, Katya. Here we go. Training to pronounce Katya correctly. I experienced countless times hearing English speakers butchering the name Katya to Katya. Personally, I am triggered every time I hear somebody saying Katya. And Archer was my personal micro-torturous experience each time they would refer to a character named Katya. I know it's Katya. But anyway, good morning, Katya. Доброе утро, Katya. The remaining options are до свидания, means goodbye. Все is everything, or all. До завтра, till tomorrow. And добрый is kind or good in a combination with утро, just like we have in this example. Доброе утро, добрый день. Good afternoon, Boris. Oof, Duolingo is testing me today. Katya, Boris. Ooh, these two names have been butchered so many times. It's Katya and Boris. I hear Boris so often. I'm almost ashamed to admit that I started saying Boris myself. It's Boris. It's Boris. Good afternoon, Boris. Добрый вечер, Boris. The remaining options we have is уже, which means already. Доброе is kind or good, and in this case would be утро because of the oye ending. Чай is tea, and день is a day. Well, see you tomorrow. Ну, до завтра. Or we can say ну, увидимся завтра. Yeah, so you can say ну, до завтра or увидимся завтра, which essentially means the same things. Means that tomorrow is when I will see you next time. Увидимся завтра or до завтра. The options here we have is мой, which is my. Вечер is evening. Есть is eat. And где is where. I have a mom. У меня есть мама. Same way we can say у меня есть папа. I have a dad. У меня есть машина. I have a car. У меня есть кот. I have a cat. or koshka, also a cat, but a female often, and so on. Alexandra is a full woman name. Alexandra is a female. Short would be Sasha. And for a male would be Alexandr, and a short also would be Sasha. Alexandra, Alexandr, Sasha, both. So, Пока means goodbye. Ruslan is a name, and Spasiba is thank you. Good morning, Dima. Доброе утро, Dima. Same way we can say good morning, mom. Доброе утро, mama. Доброе утро, papa. Or just in general, just good morning, just доброе утро. The options here we have is день, which is a day. Metro is subway. Park is park. And вечер is evening. And we're done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this useful. Please like and subscribe if you do, and share and subscribe and do all these wonderful things. And I'll see you in the next one. Спасибо. Пока.